So, good evening. Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. I can't believe it's the last freaking day of August. Like, where did the month go and where's time flying? It is flying, which just continues to prove like that small steps in the right direction are truly what pays off. Truthfully, that's how this game works, whether it's the game of your health and your wellness, your game of your finances, your game of relationships, your game of your health, your game of your business, whatever your game is, whatever goals you have, literally one foot in front of the other over a long period of time is how you get there. I am so impressed with you guys this month. This is not the final bell yet because I just want you to know that it is 6 p.m. here, which means it's 4 p.m. on the West Coast, which is Beachbody time. Beachbody day ends at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So there are still 5 hours left, you guys, to hit your freaking goals. If you set goals for August that you would help 3 people, don't give up for 5 more hours. Literally get off this call. Like if you need to get off this call right now, I'm not even gonna be mad about it. If you're like, you know what, she's right, I gotta go grind it out. Like seriously, permission granted, go do the dang thing. And if you get off this call and you're not at your goals, like this is my kick in your pants, that go hit your stinking goals, right? So far we've changed 56 lives because of you. And like I said, it's not over. There's so many of you guys who have helped one person and maybe could help 2 more before the day is over. There's a lot of you who have helped 2 people and you just need that 1 more person to achieve Success Club and get your Team Cup tank top from Beachbody. Hello, how awesome is that, right? We also still have promo codes that are good through the end of the day, which is an insane deal that they can get a full year of Beachbody on demand for free when they order their supplements, right? When you phrase it like that, when you tell people you're gonna get a full year of Beachbody on demand for free, and all you need to do is pay for your first month of supplements, whether you want pre, post-workout, or Shakeology smoothies, right? When you put it that way, it just makes it sound like such an amazing deal. And you know what? It is a freaking amazing deal. So get out there and finish the month strong. Guys, I added some names to this leaderboard too, like Kristen, Tiffany, I see you, Leah, I see you, like grinding it out. I'm just so impressed and proud of you guys. And then there's countless others of you who your numbers are just continuing to rise. This is why the call that I'm doing tonight is happening, because it's all about momentum. I also wanted to congratulate everyone who locked in Diamond so far in 2020. They have been Diamond at some point so far this year. And the rule was to join us for this year's Diamond Retreat coming in October. You had to be Diamond. Wake up by last Thursday was the cutoff for hitting Diamond. So huge, like virtual cheers for these gals for really pushing hard last week, especially as they were getting closer and closer to that deadline. Here's the deal though. So many of you guys have pushed and grown your businesses. Maybe you didn't hit the goal, but you're so much further along because of the push that you had in August. So don't stop that, right? That's how do you get to Diamond, Brittany? One coach at a time. How do you get to Success Club, Brittany? One person at a time, right? Like one message at a time. It just takes that one message, that one reach out, okay? And so if you're still pushing to become a Diamond before 2020 is up, newsflash, it's only September. We have so much time left, but just know that coming in October, I will be doing another push group. And in September, we're going to be coordinating it with another like kind of push for Emerald. I've been doing a Emerald daily sort of thing in our business builder page this summer. And so it'll be kind of a la that. And the idea is you need 4 active coaches in order to be allowed into this next push group. So if you hit Emerald this month because you just decide to show up and start pushing your business with Team Cup and all of that, then awesome. In September, go Emerald again, and you're eligible to be in our Diamond Push group. If you are sitting at maybe this month you were Emerald and you pushed really hard because of Team Cup and because of the Diamond Push, and you actually have your team is growing, right? Some of you, 4, 5, 6 coaches in your downline. That's impressive. Keep it going, okay? So that you can get to work with us come October in this next push group. The end of 2020, any coach that is a 2020 Diamond coach will be invited to a retreat that's happening towards the top half of 2021. So just note that you are working for something that is coming soon and coming close. So even if you miss this cutoff just by like the skin of your teeth, you guys, it's all good. You've got 4 more months. There's another retreat coming. I wanted to give us an update on 3-star qual because y'all freaking matter in this. This is not, I can't hit this goal by myself at all. So I just wanted to give you an update. We checked off week 1 last Thursday when we woke up and our team was in 3-star qual. That's week 1, check. This Thursday will be week 2, and as I look at my back office, everything for the most part looks like it's in a row, all our ducks. We just got one little moving piece that I chatted with the gal earlier today, and so once we get her from her projected inactive to active, everything is good. How do you help with this? Holding your rank, holding your active status, not quitting. Those are the 3 things. And then teaching your people to do the same. Don't allow your people to quit. Don't allow your people to go inactive, and help your people hold their rank, right? So that's how we hold this for 6 weeks together. This is a beast. So every week we're going to be like cheering, cheering, cheering. And I can't wait till we get to the final check-in on a Monday where I can be like, all the boxes are checked and we freaking did this. Okay. Also coming down the pipeline, Wednesday, pumpkin spice Shakeology. I've chatted about it more than, I've chatted about it a lot on both the Business Builder page as well as Inspire Beauty's page. But please know that number 1, there's a raffle for this. So get everybody in on it because I'm going to be giving away some of my fall favorites to you guys in a fun little raffle on Wednesday. The raffle will happen, by the way, depending on which happens first. Either pumpkin spice Shakeology sells out and then I'll close it and then we'll raffle, or it'll be through the end of this week. Okay. So anyway, fall favorites, you're going to be in a raffle for that. Every box you buy or sell. So if you purchase 3 boxes on Wednesday, you get 3 entries. If you purchase 1 and you sell 1, you get 2 entries, right? So make sure that you're under that thread letting me know because that'll help me know how many times to put you into the raffle. And couple things to note. Number 1, it always starts with us, right? So I'm not going to go on my Instagram stories talking about pumpkin spice Shakeology when I have no intention of buying it myself. I'm just not. I'm not going to do that, right? It's going to start with me. Once I'm on board with it, then I'm going to make sure my coaches are on board with it. You guys, your coaches are your best customers. Inactive to active, right? If you have inactive coaches, 1 box of pumpkin spice Shakeology will make them active. It's worth 52 volume points. Okay, so this is really important, especially if you have those inactives. If you have, so our coaches, right? Challengers, your people who already love the groups, they've tried the products, now tell them about the seasonal launch. And then after all of that, if you still feel compelled, then share about it to perfect strangers on the internet, absolutely. But I'm just gonna tell you, I've literally never sold a box of pumpkin spice Shakeology to a stranger on the internet. What I have done, on the other hand, is been very strategic about my volume of my team and of my coaches and of my challengers and of myself. And that's how I've had massive success with launches like pumpkin spice, okay? I've actually stayed closer to the fire and it's made me more successful, okay? Last year's launch was one of my biggest paychecks to date at that point, and it was huge for my family since we had just moved across the country. Okay, enough about that. Kicking off Monday, September 7th, that is next Monday, Yes, that's next Monday. It's going to be the 5 a.m. club. We're going to be reading it for 3 weeks together. It's 17 chapters. So pretty much you're reading a chapter a day. That's what you're committing to. Okay. And you can read more or less. You can do Audible, whatever works for you. But this book we read last year, you guys, some of us joined us for that book club, and it was amazing. It was one of the best book clubs we had all of 2019. And I realized last week, or as we were wrapping up our other book club, that a lot of us have not read this book yet. And the people who have read it would love a refresher course on this whole idea. No, you do not have to wake up at 5 a.m. to read this book. It's really just about how do we own our morning. And so 5 a.m. might be your pocket because that's the season you're in. Some of you, your pocket's 3 a.m. Laura, I'm looking right at you. Like some of you get up real stinking early. And others, 6, 7 a.m., that's your jam. Like that's when you can own your morning. Okay, so whatever that looks like for you, but the 5 a.m. Club is just such a freaking good book. So dive in on that. The link is shared on the team page if you haven't snagged your copy yet. And book club to chat through it will be kicking off on September 12th, that following Saturday. Okay, get your planners out, your calendars, whatever you like to write down important dates and events in. We're moving into a new month tomorrow. So I want to make sure you guys know exactly what's coming down the pipeline and that this stuff takes precedence in your planner over everything else, right? When I was a school teacher, if my principal told me I had an open house on Monday the 28th, I'd write down in my planner that I had an open house on Monday the 28th. And you know what? I showed up for it. You know why I showed up for open house? Because I get fired if I didn't. Now, I'm not here to fire anybody, but you have to ask yourself, like, if you pick and choose what to show up for, are you really doing this? Like, are you really in it? Or are you just doing what's convenient to you, right? Okay, and so here's the deal. When I do what's convenient to me and I put one foot in and I have one foot out, I get those kind of results. We all know about that in our fitness journeys, right? When you kind of sort of try, you kind of sort of get results. This business is no different. So Monday next week, no team call, it'll be Labor Day. But we will have 3 more team calls every Monday, 14th, 21st, 28th. So next Monday, I am giving you guys that day off. You're welcome. You can thank me later. I love Starbucks gift cards, long walks through Target, champagne and pizza, tank tops. You can thank me later. Tuesdays, all September long, I have a little 30-minute thing planned out for us. New coach kickoff call is going to be on the 8th. So a lot of you have brought on new coaches this month. Please let them know that we're doing a new coach kickoff call next Tuesday, not tomorrow, but the following Tuesday, to chat through how do you get started in this business? What are the things you do? Okay, so I'll be hosting that, and it's for all of our brand new coaches. The following Tuesday, we will be doing our normal Success Leaves Clues call, which is where I get all of the people who rocked the socks off of the last month, and I bring them together panel style. I have questions for them, they answer them, and we all get to learn from each other. So that's going to be on the 15th. We're going to do an Emerald University on the 22nd. So if you have coaches who you know would be amazing at working this business and you want to push them to go Emerald, invite them to this call. If you're still pushing for Emerald, or you want to get your Emerald back, or you are just hungry to freaking learn, Emerald University the 22nd. And then once a month, I like to give anybody who's Emerald and above a chance to be on a mastermind call. That'll be the final Tuesday of the month. So anyone who is Emerald by the 24th will be invited to join us on the 29th. Speaking of Emerald, the 17th, I'm going to be hosting a 14-day Push to Emerald challenge to finish our month strong in September. If you're already Emerald, then the idea is you go Emerald again, right? So we're doing like a dash to Emerald. And when you wake up on the 1st of October, whoever's waking up the 1st of October with 4 active coaches underneath them will be invited to our October Push to Diamond, okay? So just make sure you have those dates kind of reserved in your head, book clubs on there, and then kicking off next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is our end of the summer 3-day refresh. My kit came in last week, so I am ready to go. All right, hopefully you guys got that. I will share this calendar on the team page, but make sure, like, literally, these are the things you need to plug into your calendar, because this is how we grow together in community. So I got asked, I noticed it in our we have like a message there. How do I move this? That's still not good. This is okay. Ooh, you guys are blowing up the chat. I don't even see it, but I just saw 23. Okay, I got asked in our leadership thread for Team Cup, okay? Guys, how do I keep this momentum going? Because like there's I mean, if you look at that Team Cup leaderboard of Success Club points, that's insane, you guys. When we look at the people who really ran in August and pushed themselves to get Diamond by last Thursday, it's just insane, you guys. So much momentum and growth has happened in our team in just the last month, but really in the last like quarter of the year, I would say. And so one of the questions was, how do we keep this going? And even before Team Cup month, one of the coaches on our team came to me and said, every time we do Team Cup, like, I love it, it's great, but after that month afterwards is always kind of a dud. Like, what do we do so that we don't experience that? And so that's kind of why I wanted to do tonight's call as we're transitioning into a new month. Whether you had an outstanding August, maybe it was the best August you've ever had, or maybe your August just wasn't your best, right? Those happen, and it could be something in between, okay? Regardless of that, the things that you're going to do going into September are not brain surgery. They're not rocket science. And this is probably going to be one of those calls where you're like, hashtag duh, Britt, got it. Okay, thanks. Right? Because they're seriously the simplest things. But it's a mosquito that bites you, you guys, right? It's the mosquito that bites the elephant. So it's important that we understand that it's the little things that matter, especially in this business. So number one, drop it in the chat. What program are you currently doing? Because self-care is my number one of how do you take what you're doing in August and make it, keep riding it into September? Self-care above all. It starts with you. It starts with your journey. What are you locked into? I'm personally finishing up MBFA this week. Okay, and so many of you might be in that same boat where you're like, well, I'm actually finishing up a program, or I was doing this and now I'm not really sure. Here's the next nudge I'm going to give you. What is your game plan for the rest of the year? Now you can write this down if you want, and then kind of take my template and start to craft your own, or you might already have it. But I've already looked at the rest of the year because you guys, it's going to fly. It's really going to fly. After I finish MBFA this week, next week I'm kicking off team-wide 3-day refresh. So September 8th, 9th, 10th, I've got a 3-day refresh. Guys, if you've never done 3-day refresh before, there's yoga that Beachbody has in their yoga studio that pairs right along with it. There's 3 days worth of yoga that go along with a 3-day refresh. So you could pair yoga with it. You could do whatever you're doing. But next week's kind of an off week for me as I finish up a program, do the refresh, kind of hit reset on the body. I encourage you to do that too. As coaches, we go 365 days a year, my friends. Your body is not equipped to do that. You have to give yourself breaks, planned breaks, okay? So if you have not had a break between a program ever in 2020, I'm going to nudge you that your body is probably going to be really upset with you at some point and retaliate in the form of pain. Been there, done that. So just be smart, okay? You have to plan strategic rest. So that's mine. Next week is pretty much rest, but it's mostly clean eating. And cleansing myself. Okay, September 14th through October 4th, I'm gonna dive into MBF round 2. Only for 3 weeks though. That's gonna pair right along with my 3-week Rise and Shine group that I'm hosting for my self-care sisterhood. So I'm kind of aligning my calendar with what I'm doing there content-wise. So I'm doing a 3-week program. MBF is perfect for that, okay? Kicking off on October 5th through the 25th, I decided I'm going to do the prep calendar that I shared with you guys today for 30-day breakaway. October 26th through Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to be running a running themed group for 30-day breakaway. And the idea is going to be there's a turkey trot at the end. That's why I did it to Thanksgiving Day, because typically on Thanksgiving we do turkey trots. It's slightly longer than 30 days. It's like a 32-day group that this ends up panning out to be. That's okay. It's all good. Anybody can do their virtual trot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of that final week while we're finishing up 30-day breakaway. I also noticed, you guys, and Amanda shared this, I saw it roaming on the internet, but Amanda shared it as well. It's a pumpkin spice virtual 5K. Guys, look for things like that. When I researched that 5K, if you pay the enrollment fee, the registration fee, anybody that pays that, they're gonna mail you your tank top, your bib, your medal. Like, wouldn't that be a fun group to integrate with 30-day breakaway? Like, everyone's gonna join this and we're gonna all work together to get to that virtual pumpkin spice 5K, right? There's no, when I looked at those things, a lot of these virtual races, there's no time stamp on it. So start getting creative. If you're going to be leveraging that group, get creative. How can you help everybody come together at the end and feel like they've really accomplished something? So my calendar is getting me to like a turkey trot. Then Thanksgiving to the end of 2020, right now, tentatively, I'm prepping for Control Freak. And I always run a 21 days of fitness group that I love doing every year. And so I'm going to be, whatever prep calendar we have for Control Freak is what I'll be probably following to wrap up the year, unless I decide otherwise, okay? But that's pretty much my rough draft right now. As we get further away from today, of course, there's room for, changing things up and whatnot, and life happens. But in general, I have a game plan. So I want you to make sure that walking away from tonight, you literally open up your calendar and you plan out the rest of the year. What program are you starting? When will you finish it? How does it align with your calendar for how you're working your business too? Notice how everything I have here isn't just about my self-care, it's about my self-care so I can inspire somebody to join me on the journey too, okay? Number two, in order to keep the momentum going, you guys, consistency matters. I like to think of my Instagram stories as my fit BFF, my diary. Like, it is a daily journal of me. Every day I'm sharing my progress. So I went back and I took some like screenshots of when 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, we started the journey with MBF. And I showed them my before pictures. I showed them my before pictures. I showed them how happy I was on day 2. I talked about a win when I was feeling extra strong and that my nutrition was laser focused. And spoiler, it only been like 2 days, but hey, I'll take 2 because that's how you win, right? You win the program by winning that day, by winning that move, by winning that choice, right? And so I kind of talked about that. And then I talked about how in one of my workouts, I was like super bloated because we went out to eat and that meal just didn't agree with me. And so now here I am. Now here I am last week. I'm sharing the journey. People are going to watch you, you guys, for a long time. They want to see if they can trust you or if you're just going to drop off. So keep going. That's your secret weapon, is your willingness to keep going. Consistency matters, my friends, but I think it's also important that authenticity matters. If you walk into my story on a day-to-day basis, you will know how I'm feeling that day because I will authentically share it with you. Authenticity to me also is not just still shots. Authenticity to me comes when you speak to your audience. When I walk into some of your stories each day and I don't hear you talk to me, I don't think I know you. I wonder if this is just fake or if you truly care about me or is this about you? Authenticity matters in the way that you show up because you allow people to realize that it's possible for them. Is your Instagram story a diary of look at me or is it a diary inspiring other people to try it too? Right? And so I think that that's like, there's a slight gut check you have to give yourself. I loved today, you guys, I challenged myself today to go back. If you go on your Instagram and you click on if you're on your profile page, you're on your main profile, there's the 3 horizontal bars at the top. If you click on that, you can click on archive. It has like a clock going backwards, archive, and you can see your stories that you've posted forever ago. You can go back and see. I love doing this. I love doing this for a couple reasons. One, I love going back and seeing how far I've come in my journey and to see how I've shown up throughout all of it. So go back to, 6 weeks ago when we started MBF. Did you really show up for it? Were you consistent? Were you authentic? Did you give people the full scope? When I had to take 2 days off because of my back flaring up, I told people about it. I let them know that I wasn't perfect and that my body was screaming at me. And so this was what I was going to do rather than try to be perfect and keep up with everybody else, even though that isn't authentic to me in my journey, right? It's also important that you go back because let's say you had a lot of success at the top of the month. Some of you were like rock stars coming out of the gate and then maybe like flatlined a little. And don't worry, that happens to the best of us. But I like to go back and look, what was I doing when I was most successful? If you had a rockin' month in 2020, let's say March of 2020 was your best month, I dare you to go back in March and see what you were doing because it'll leave clues for you as to what was good for your followers that caused them to want to join, right? And then duplicate that. Duplicate what was successful for you. I also think it's important, and I literally just showed you, my fitness progression through MBF and whatnot. But it's also important that you share something beyond Beachbody. Are you someone who others get value and entertainment by following you? Whenever I'm about to expand my network on Instagram, which is a daily behavior, right? Whenever I'm looking for new followers, the first thing I think about before I click on following or try to get them to follow me back with any different method of choice, before I do any of that, I ask myself, if this person decides to come back and look at me, Are they going to want to follow me because they see something of value, because maybe they like me immediately, there's a connection, or maybe they're entertained by me? Like, I ask myself these questions. I don't want to follow somebody if I believe that they're going to come to my page and be like, boo, mayday, mayday. This is one of those MLM network marketers. She's just going to try to sell you Beachbody. Like, if I encounter that, when I enter someone's stories and I realize that they are literally just sharing their MLM products, I am peace outo. Like, I'm out. And so, my friends, some of us need to do some serious gut checks. Are you only sharing your morning workout and then you dissolve for the rest of the day? Do I get value from you? What are you good at teaching? What are you good at sharing? What is your jam? What are the things that, if we remove Beachbody from the slate, that still exist? If Carl Eichler shut down the doors to Beachbody today and it was no more and you could not press play on BOD, what would you show up tomorrow sharing? What would you talk about? That's you. You've got to give people more than just Beachbody, right? So yes, we're going to make Instagram our fit besties, our diaries, but I want it to be like your diary of you, of all of you. So at the end of the day, every day when you scroll back through, did your story make sense as if you were entering a page of your diary? I want you to ask yourself that and gut check yourself that. Show up in September like that. Okay, let's make this super simple. The things that moved you forward in August, like inviting, doing your tracker, getting on Power Hours, those are the things that are going to move you forward in September. So when you're like, how do I keep this momentum going? Keep inviting. It gets to a place, and I see it happen, where a coach will hit their goal. Let's say you set a goal as, I'm going to hit Success Club 6, and you do. And then all of a sudden you stay there for 3 weeks. It's like, why would we just stay there for 3 weeks? It's because my guess is we're not inviting with the same tenacity that we were when we were at 0. Tomorrow, every one of us will wake up at 0. That's the cool part about this business, is tomorrow it's a clean and even slate. So you can wake up tomorrow and literally blow the roof off our leaderboard next month, because we're all starting on the same playing field. So use your journey, you guys, in September to invite people. This is where that game plan is important, though. I already know what's happening because I have it planned out. Do you know what you're inviting to in September? Do you know the start date? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you know, the reason I push you guys to join in, or to create your own BOD groups, is because there's an ownership to it. When I sit down and I craft out my group, I know what's going down and I'm excited about it. So I can then invite people because I know exactly what we're talking about and where I'm going to take my sisters in the next month. So Instagram stories is where the bulk of my invites do come from. Okay. So this is kind of like what you'd see. I keep it very simple. I send them directly from the story that they're viewing. This one was last week. I sent it talking about how I'm kicking off my fall boot camp soon, and they got a sneak peek of like winning the morning. And I said, we're going back to the basics, all about owning our morning routine, basically teaching you how I win the morning like this. Anyways, I'd love to send you the info and a sample workout to try. If you're still interested, let me know. That was a follow-up of sorts because they were interested before. This person, hey, you should totally dive in with us this month, sis. Can I send you a sample workout to try? And then when they say yes, right? Yeah, sure, I'd love more info. Or yeah, sure, I'll try a sample workout. That's all I do. I don't word vomit about challenge packs and Shakeology and, goji berries and hey, Energize is like, no, like I literally just send them the workout and I let that speak for itself. I think it's also important though that there's a strategy behind this. Whatever you post today is tomorrow's invites. So you've got to plan accordingly. So when I get, like last night was very strategic. I posted a transformation picture. Why? Because number one, people are on their phones on Sunday nights. Number two, I wanted something to be able to invite off of, right? So your posts have to be strategic. You can't just be slapping things on a wall and saying, I hope somebody joins me. No, I'm going to post this so that I can then send the invite from it. So when I did this Win the Morning story, that was with the intention that anyone that watches that story, I'm going to send them this invite because they're getting a glimpse at what's to come, right? A lot of times I'll just send a very simple scripted one like this, like, hey, you should do this with us. Just like that, very quick to the point when they're watching my fitness story. They're watching. These people know what I'm doing, so the invite is so much easier. I don't have to go into all these details, right? So we're going to also agree that we're going to invite. We're going to be consistent on our journey. We're going to show up daily on social media, and we're going to use that to invite. We're also going to grow. I talked to my Team Cup team this morning about this, and I asked them, and you guys can share in the chat, what was your biggest win from August? Like, share those in the chat. I want to see those when we're done. What was your biggest win in August? And it's okay if you take a second to think about it, but while you're thinking, I asked them that question this morning, and I let them know that this has been me today, where you see me, has been almost 7 years in the making. You guys, 7 years of messing up, not getting it quite right, having somebody tell me no, coaches saying they're all in and then they fall off, like all the things. 7 years of it. What has changed the game for me and what keeps me going is a growth mindset, is leveling up in my mind and my heart set and my soul set, leveling up as a character, as Brittany, right? It's also leaning into the team and not away from it. So I told them today, you guys, no matter how your August went, you don't need to back off. This is when you take and you build upon. So if in August, your win was, I learned how to fill out a tracker, then you already have that level of knowledge. And in September, you add on it. And then in October, you add on. You just keep adding layers on what you already know. You don't say, let me look at all the things I did wrong in August. I only learned how to use the tracker. Oh my gosh, I suck. I only did, 7 workouts when I was supposed to do 10. And I only did this and I only helped one person. No, whatever you did this month, now you throw another layer on top of it. And that's how you grow. So we're going to grow. 5 a.m. Club kicks off. It's 3 weeks long. And this is how you grow in community and you level up in character. For me, personal development is non-negotiable because it is key to your success and growth as a coach. Every coach that quits, it started right here. Let me say that again. Every coach that quits, and I don't mean they put in their form and actually quit. I mean, they just stopped. Like every coach that stops, it stopped in their head first. They told themselves a lie, and I'm going to get like super heated about this because I believe this to my core. In your head, you've told yourself a stupid lie that you would never tell anyone else, but you've told it to yourself enough times that now you believe it. And so you just stopped showing up the way you wanted to when your dreams were at the forefront and you hadn't torn yourself apart. I often wonder when a coach backs away or steps aside or takes a break or doesn't get on calls anymore, whatever it looks like, I often wonder what's going on in their head. What did someone tell them? And usually it's probably not what someone told them, it's probably the lie they told themselves. How do you attack this, my friends? Personal development, self-growth, mindset growth. This is how you win. This is how you'll be successful. This is how you'll grow. And here's the deal. You don't want to do 5 a.m. Club? I'm not a bully. I'm not going to make you. But if it's not this book, then what is it? If you're not joining us for 5 a.m. Club, what are you diligently working on in your mindset right now? And tell me that it's better for you to do that solo than it is to plug in community and do this with us. And I'd probably not believe you for 2 seconds, right? Because I don't believe doing anything alone. I believe anything you do alone allows room for you to start tearing yourself apart. But when you grow in community, all of a sudden we can rally behind you, right? Also, you guys, part of growth and part of your growth, your insane growth, has been that you have been diligent about getting on power hours. Not gonna lie, I'm a little upset that on the last day of the month, I haven't seen more people. First of all, shout out to freaking Natalie, who couldn't make the 11 a.m. power hour today and still showed up and dropped her link for that, right? Like, thank you, Natalie, virtual high fives, for freaking finishing the month strong. If you have not been getting on power hours lately, why? Right? Why? And if your schedule has shifted, this is where you need to grow. Then when are you working your business if your day-to-day is shifting with it? A lot of us are going through shifts right now because of schedules going back to maybe how they were pre-COVID or whatever. That's fine. many of you were very successful working your business back then. You can still be successful now. It just involves a shift. And so when are you working your business if your day-to-day is changing? You have to know that. And if, by golly, like when Amanda was full-time teaching, every Monday after our team call, she always dropped her link at 8 p.m. and said, whoever needs to hustle with me, we're hustling tonight, because that's when she could do it. And it held her accountable to drop her link. So do that, you guys, right? We learned like how powerful Zoom links were during this whole time. Let's keep doing that. And the last thing is literally the most annoying, right? You're like, I'm rolling my eyes at you, Brittany. Show up. There's no magic pill. I love the question, how do I keep momentum rolling? Well, here's the deal with Big Mo. Momentum loves momentum. When you are pumping a well, and none of us, I don't think any of us, well, you can tell us in the chat if you have physically pumped a well for your own water, but I don't know a single soul that has pumped water on a day-to-day basis. It's just not something we do. But I want you to imagine that if we did pump water, when you're pumping water in one of those old school wells, nothing comes out. Like, you have to build up the pressure in order for it to start working. And that's sometimes what the beginning phases of your business will feel like. But here's the deal. Every time you pump that well and you get like that little trickle or that little trickle or that little trickle, and then you say, you know what? I got to go to the back burner. I got to take a break, and you back off, you make it that much harder for yourself to start over, because you got to start from nothing, right? So the things you did in August that brought you success, or whatever month you faced, success in your business, those are the exact same things that I believe we tend to put on our back burner unless we become intentional, because they're so simple, right? Growing your network, sending out happy birthday messages, sprinkling love on people and connecting with them, looking at people's stories and commenting authentically. Those are really simple things that, unless you're intentional about it, they'll get placed on the back burner. But those are the things that bring you success. Sending invites, telling people, hey, I'd love to have you in this group. Are you ready this month? Those are the things that are going to bring you success. But those are also the things that we tend to place on the back burner when life gets busy. I loved this on the National Wake Up Call this morning. She shared about, she realized that she worked all day for someone else's dreams, yet when she came home, she had every excuse not to work for hers. And I thought that was so powerful. Like, most of us will work all day for someone else's dream. You'll work for someone else's, school to achieve whatever, A rating you want to achieve in the district this year. You'll work all day for, a higher company like Apple, and you're not the one who had dreams for Apple. You are just one of their worker bees. You'll work all day for someone else's dream. Yet when it comes to your own, we make excuses. We come home and we act like it doesn't matter. And I think it's because we feel like no one will notice. I want to challenge you to be the kind of person, be the kind of woman who shows up regardless of who notices you. I'm going to give an ego check right there. Are you here to be noticed? Is that why you're here? Because you just want people to notice you? I don't think so. I think you're here because someone noticed you, and now you want to be the person that notices others. That's the kind of team we are. I'm not a team that, no, look at me, look at my rank, look at her rank, look at us. Like, that's not it. I am on this team because I want other people to feel the way that I've felt. And so I go out and I do my work because I'm the kind of person that I want other people to feel like they matter. I want other people to feel like their dreams are worth chasing, right? Like, I want other people to feel that. So if no one's noticing you, maybe that's the wrong mindset, right? Maybe it's not about you being noticed, it's about you noticing others. The other thing is, let's be solution seekers. There's gonna be things that come up, there's gonna be obstacles in your way, but the worst thing you can do is not bring solutions to the table, right? So being a solution seeker means that you ask your upline, your direct upline, for support. And if your direct upline can't offer that support because they just don't know, I have another upline that's even better. Her name is Google University. She's so good. She'll answer every question you got. Yes, that is www.google.com if you did not write that down. She's an amazing upline. She will always answer you, right? The team page is an amazing resource. Did you know there's a search bar on the team page that if you need like anything, right? You guys, I wanted to repost all of the pumpkin spice stuff from last year. Do you know what I did? I just typed in our search bar, pumpkin spice Shakeology, and everything that I posted about it last year came up back into my face. And so I was able to recycle content from last year and use it again as we build energy for this next launch, right? Solution seekers. Yeah? Be like someone that creates good energy for our team. Don't be the reason that energy is sucked from our team. So you have to show up. These things that grow your business, sending invites, sending follow-ups, and emptying your inbox, which means your inbox has to actually have messages in it, right? Scroll through, not to just consume social media, but scroll and connect with people. You guys, most people use this. Everyone, is there anyone on this call that doesn't have one of these in their hand right now? Does anybody know? I'm gonna scroll through. Does anybody know anyone that doesn't have a phone? Please raise your hand if you know somebody who's not your grandmother, by the way. Has to be like, is there any, I'm looking for anybody down here. We all know, I don't know anyone who doesn't have one of these. I'm literally making a salary off of this thing every day because I don't consume it. I use it to build a business. Same thing that my neighbor has, yet I'm building a business off of it. And so can you. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to know all the things. You just have to be intentional about using this for these proper things. Rather than scrolling and consuming and scrolling and comparing, why not scroll and connect with others, scroll and invite, scroll and follow up, right? Scroll and grow your following. Posting, all of the things. Replying to comments, contributing in your groups and your challenge groups and your team page, all the things, recognizing other people's achievements and celebrating people, and personal development. These are literally the easiest steps, but they'll go on the back burner if you're not intentional. So how do we do this? How do we show up in September? How do we keep the momentum rolling? Do you have to grind the way that you were grinding in like the season of your business? And we've all had them, a season of your business where maybe it was like the hardest you've ever grinded. So for some of you, that could have been this month. Like, I've never worked so hard than I did in freaking August. And maybe it's just not sustainable for you every month of the year. That's okay. But what I tend to see is a coach go from like to the moon to nothing. And we have to remember that there's gray area. It's not just black and white. So if you had an insane month where you were like, I did, power hours every day, and I sent out so many invites, and I was hustling because we had Team Cup goals, I love it. That shows you what's possible in your own business, right? When you like grind like that. I'm not asking you to be like that 365 days of the year. What I am saying is that letting off the gas doesn't mean stopping, right? Does that make sense? So how do we move the needle forward? Literally by showing up, by doing our tracker, by showing up to hustle hours, by dropping your Zoom link for your scheduled hustle hours, even if they don't align with the ones that your teammates have crafted, by staying close to the fire, by getting on the team calls. Create your own message thread. If you still have your Team Cup thread going, keep talking in it. Keep helping each other in September. That's how you form this community, these bonds, these relationships, right? Okay, I'm gonna hit stop on